Are you struggling to write Airtable formulas? If so, you might want to consider using OpenAI or ChatGPT to help you generate those formulas. I've heard through the grapevine that people are doing this. Personally, I don't think it's as good as a human, but we're gonna give it a shot today, and ultimately we're gonna find out if I'm out of a job. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth. I'm the owner at Gap Consulting, and we have made it our mission to help you get organized and automated with no-code tools. At the forefront of those tools is Airtable, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today. Airtable formulas using ChatGPT to see if we can generate better formulas through ChatGPT than we can with our own Airtable brains. So, before we get into it, I want to invite you to join me for my Airtable crash course. This is a crash course that's going to walk you through all the key features of Airtable so that you can truly get the most out of your experience with the software. Grab that training at garethpronovost.com/airtable-crash-course. I'll include that link below this video so that you can go ahead and sign up so that you can start unlocking the full potential of Airtable. But without further ado, let's hop on into the heart of this video. I'm gonna start by explaining my simple data structure here, and then we're gonna go over to ChatGPT, OpenAI, and we're gonna see if it can beat me at writing some formulas. So, first and foremost, inside of my Airtable system, I have my line items table here. On my line items table, I'm linking to an invoice. I'm selecting an item that was sold on that particular invoice, and I'm needing to bring in a price per unit. I also want the quantity, and of course I need to calculate the line item total. This shouldn't be too hard. I think we should be able to get there. The last piece that's missing here is we also need the line item name, and I would like to combine the item here with the invoice. I want to have them both represented on the name of this. Now the other table here, and this is where it's all going to come together, is that we have the invoice here. Here is my actual invoice. So we have the invoice number. We're marking whether or not this is taxable. And then we have our link to line items. As you see, the line items still aren't named, but hopefully ChatGPT can help us solve that. Then we also are rolling up the line item subtotal. So we're looking at the line items here. We're looking at the total value that we will calculate, and then we're going to sum it. So this is going to give us the total amount for the line items here that were included on the invoice. And then finally, as the last step, I'm going to show you my version of the formula that we're going to see if OpenAI can redo or actually even improve upon on its version. So here's what mine looks like. It's a little messy, so let's walk through it. I'm saying, first and foremost, look at this AND statement. If both of these things exist, an invoice ID and a line item subtotal, meaning that we have a value for our line item subtotals, and we have an invoice ID, meaning that we've actually completely filled out that invoice, then I want to check the next thing, if it is taxable or not. And if it is taxable, I'm going to take that line item subtotal and multiply it by 1.05, assuming a 5% tax for our example. And if it is not taxable, then I just want to see the line item subtotal. So this formula right here, the one that we're going to try to recreate with ChatGPT, is going to tell us what the total of the invoice is, including tax, if that little tick box is marked. So that's it. Let's start at the top, flip over into line items, and first and foremost, I need to know what the price per unit is based on the item that is selected here. I've got 3 different items: a barrel, a bin, and a bucket. And depending on which one is chosen, I want to have a different price output here. So let's flip over into ChatGPT now. Here I am inside of a paid account. I have not tested this yet at all, so I don't know if this will work or if it won't, but let's give it a shot. I'm going to start off by saying in Airtable, I have a field called item. And this is a single select field. It can be one of 3 values: bin, barrel, or, and I already forgot. Let's flip on back, bucket. Depending on what is picked here, I want a formula to tell me the price of the item selected. The prices should be as follows. And here we're just going to make up some prices. 100 for bin, 200 for barrel, or 300 for bucket. Let's try this. I'm just going to say, please write this formula that I need in Airtable. Oh boy. All right, this is the first attempt. Let's see what it does. Hit submit. Okay. Yes, ChatGPT, I see you. It did a good job. This is pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's go ahead and grab this and see if it's right. Without giving it away, I'm just gonna copy it and we're gonna head on over into price per unit. And I'm gonna change this to a formula now. And let's paste that in. Cross our fingers and see if it worked. Oh, what did I do wrong? It felt so right. Okay. So one thing that I did wrong was I've got a capitalization issue here. So this is something that, as somebody who writes these formulas, I would know, but you might not know if you're not doing this day in, day out. This formula is case sensitive. I've capitalized barrel, bin, and bucket. The formula has not. So let me save us time. I'm sure if we went back to our ChatGPT, we could check this. Actually, let's check. I put it in lowercase when I talked to ChatGPT, so that's on me. We're not going to blame OpenAI for this one. I'll take the blame. Let's go ahead and change up the outputs here and save it and see what happens. So we're golden, right? First formula, success. I love it. Let's go back in here. I want to go into formatting and of course change this to output as a currency as it should do because we're looking at price per unit, but it's matching appropriately. Bin is 100, barrel is 200, buckets 300. This is good. Now, one thing I would say here, again, as somebody who writes these formulas all the time, is I would not use nested if statements, which is what ChatGPT went with. I would actually use a switch formula, but let's not get bogged down by the details. I think that switch is a better option, but the truth is ChatGPT did what we asked for it to do. It gave us a working formula. I'm going to consider this a win. Let's take it and move on. So next, I need to output my line item total. Now this is a pretty easy formula. You could probably guess to what it should be. It's just going to be price per unit times quantity. But let's see if ChatGPT knows that. So I'm going to write another one here. Let's get going again. So I'm going to say I have two fields, price per unit and quantity in my Airtable base. I want to know the product of these two values when multiplied together. I feel like I'm being redundant. I shouldn't have to say product and when multiplied together, but you know what? Let's just do it here to be extra careful. I want this thing to work. I want to give it more information than it probably needs to make sure I get back what I need. So last part, write me the formula that I need in Airtable. Cross your fingers again. We're 1 for 1 so far, so I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see what ChatGPT comes back with. An internal server error. Not great. Let's see if I can copy this and reload the page. I'm not going to count this as a mark against ChatGPT. This is probably just over utility of the tool right now. It's just way too much going on. Okay, what's happening here? Multiply? I don't think this is how we write this in Airtable, but let's give it a shot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm about to learn new formulas in Airtable that are a thing. All right, we're going to take our value here. Line item total is the field we put together. Well, let's change it over just as we did before to formula, and I'm going to drop that in. One thing I'm noticing that doesn't work for me already is these square brackets. I don't think that that's going to give us anything of value in Airtable. Airtable syntax is using squiggly brackets to denote your fields. I don't think this is going to work, but let's save it up and see. Yeah, Airtable is saying this isn't working for us. So let's pause again. I want to give the benefit of the doubt here to ChatGPT. So I'm going to change my brackets to squiggly brackets. Let me see if I can do that. Get in there, delete that one, make a squiggly bracket there. I don't need them around quantity because it's only one word. Let's go ahead and save that and see what's happening. Yeah, so now we have the other problem. The other problem is that multiply is not a known function to Airtable. So this is kind of breaking down. I want ChatGPT to work here, but it's not giving me the right output. So let me try it again. I will say, just redo this. Regenerate this output. Well, I mean, it's better. It's better. Not quite perfect yet, but let's grab this. I'm going to copy this one over. I'm going to drop it in over here. The one thing wrong about this particular formula is that it's got these tildes or apostrophes up there. And again, we need to surround this one with squiggly brackets. So maybe that's not the end of the world. Maybe we can get past that. But it's right. What we're looking for, and this was a really easy one, which makes it all the more funny to me. But all we needed was this asterisk, right? So let's take that asterisk. That's what's going to help us multiply these pieces together. Let's save it up. Yeah, I know that's going to change everything. I'm good with it. And here we go. All right. So I can look now at that, change it again to currency formatting, and we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. What I need now is going to be the name of these records. Again, I want to include both the invoice and the item in that name. So I want to say 1001 barrel, 1001 bin. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us with that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop on down here and say I have two fields in Airtable. Item, whoops, let's put them in quotes just in case. And invoice. I want a formula that will combine both of these elements in a text output. I want invoice to be listed first, then a space, then item. And let me just be consistent here. I'm going to make sure that every time I refer to a field, I'm doing it inside of my double quotes. And I'm also going to be thoughtful of case sensitivity since we already saw that was an issue. But yeah, let's wrap this up. Please generate the Airtable formula I need for this. Let's submit. So far, we're doing pretty good. Let's see what it says. Yeah, okay, let's grab it. Invoice and item. It's not entirely right, again, because of squiggly brackets, but this formula is going to work if I fix the text issue that it's giving me. So let's go ahead and paste it in. Again, because I know that these are not appropriate, these little tildes, I'm going to get rid of that character altogether. But otherwise, this formula is correct. Now, of course, also of note is that sometimes you have to use the squiggly brackets around your fields if they have spaces in the name of the field. I don't have spaces in the name of invoice or item, so it's not an issue here. Let's save it and see where we're at. And that's it. Another working formula. Perfect. ChatGPT is doing pretty good here. Now, for the hard one, let's flip on over to invoice. Here we go. This is where it's going to get nasty. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because my formula is not even working. Whoops. What did I break? What I want to say, again, I'm going to write this myself. If the invoice ID exists and the line item subtotal exists, then check to see if it's taxable. If it is, be this. Oh, I missed my parenthesis. I'm already getting replaced by ChatGPT. I put my parenthesis in the wrong place, which broke the whole thing. All right, let's fix this up. Now we've got it. My formula is working. If it has an invoice ID and if it has a line item subtotal, meaning that it's ready to go, then we're going to calculate what that subtotal is. If it's taxable, we're going to add 5% to it. If it's not taxable, we're just going to take the line item subtotal and move it on over here. That's what we want to see. Let's see if ChatGPT can do it too. Let's flip on over into ChatGPT. And first, we're going to start off with the first part of it, invoice ID, taxable and line item subtotal, these are the names of my fields. So let's start with that. I'm going to start by saying I have 3 fields in Airtable, invoice ID, and instead of using these quotes, I'm going to start using squiggly brackets to see if that helps. Invoice ID, taxable, question mark, and now I already forgot. So invoice ID, taxable, and line item subtotal. Let's go in. Line item subtotal. Okay. If an invoice ID and line item subtotal exist, then I want to check to see if taxable is checked. I'll even include a little extra here. Please note that taxable is a Boolean field that is either yes or no. Let's include that inside of little quotes just in case. Oh, I'm really trying to build ChatGPT up here so that it can give me the right answer. All right. If taxable is checked, then I want to take the value of line item subtotal. Gosh, this is already harder than just writing the formula, folks, but let's keep going. Then I want to take the value of line item subtotal and multiply it by 1.05. If I don't even know what is appropriate punctuation inside of ChatGPT, I'm just going to include a period after that and hope it doesn't get confused because I already have a decimal. I just don't know. All right, let's keep going. If taxable is not checked, then I just want to output the value of line item subtotal. Oh man, please write a formula in Airtable syntax that will accomplish this. All right, one other thing I want to give it a little bit of help with here is I said I want to take the value. Let me instead say I want to output the value of this. All right, I'm trying to give ChatGPT the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give it more information than it might need. The better I write my input, the better I can expect an output, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Make sure you're putting in good stuff, and let's see if I'm out of a job. All right, let's hit submit and see what it comes back with. If and not is blank, invoice ID, not is blank. Okay, that's close. Taxable, okay. All right, let me tell it one more thing I want to do here. I'm going to say, please note that fields in Airtable should be surrounded by squiggly brackets. Let's try to regenerate that because I don't want to have to undo them all. Let's resubmit. Okay, if and invoice ID and line item subtotal. Oh my gosh, come on. Let's copy and paste this and see if I'm out of a job. All right, formula, drop it in. I think we got it. I think we got a winner, guys. I can't believe that it actually did it. I'm super excited. One thing I don't like about it, okay, so this is nitpicky, but because of these quotations here, I'm mixing my outputs. In some cases, my output is a number, and in some cases, I'm saying it might be text. So I'm actually going to get rid of that entirely and save it again. And this way, it knows that my output is always a number, and that will allow me to alter the formatting of a number. Before, if you recall, I went to formatting right here, and it didn't allow me to change the formatting because of the fact that it was not sure if it was text or number or what, and now it knows it's always a number. So here it is. This is the OpenAI, the ChatGPT formula. It is pretty good. And here's my formula right next to it. I think they might be identical. If not, they're definitely getting the same output. They might be two different ways of solving the same problem, but I think they're identical. They're pretty darn close, if not identical. So there you have it, folks. This is how you can use ChatGPT to help you write better Airtable formulas. We went through a bunch of examples here, and with just a little bit of tweaking, we were able to get all the way through a complete project. I hope you got a ton of value out of this. If you did and you want to see more videos like this relating to no code and no code consulting, be sure you've subscribed to the channel. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, but in the meantime, keep on building.